Hello, welcome to Art's Way Out, episode number 3. My name is Anat Safran. I'm an artistic director and curator from Tel Aviv. And Art's Way Out is an initiative together with the German embassy here in Israel, where we meet on every episode a speaker from Israel, a speaker from Germany, creators from the same discipline. So today we're going to talk about a very interesting subject, which is ecological fashion. And we have very special guests. So from Tel Aviv, we have Dana Cohen, which is a fashion designer based here in Tel Aviv. She graduated from the Shankar Fashion Academy in 2015. And ever since, she has launched her own label, and is working, exhibiting in the world, and also won quite a lot of nice prizes. And in Berlin, we have Eugenie Schmidt, which is originally from Tajikistan, but she grew up in Germany, and then she did her studies in the Bissen Academy, I hope I said it right, in Berlin of art and design, where she met her partner, Mariko Takashi, together with, she has launched later on her own label, Schmidt Takashi, which is still working today, and she's gonna tell us all about it. And both of them have developed a very special kind of attitude to fashion and technique. So I'm very, very excited to have you here today. Thank you for participating at this talk. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about your, like a project from the past that has had a very important meaning for your career, that started everything out. And a little bit about, yeah, your background and where do you come from. So I don't know, Dana, you want to start?
I actually started sewing when I was 16 with a private teacher, and I used to wear my own clothes, and I also studied art, and I wanted to have this kind of mix between art and fashion. So I started my degree in Shankar, and for my graduation collection, I did a sustainable collection. My last year in college, when I was thinking about ideas, I sat in my studio and I looked at all those fabrics I collected through the years, and it felt wrong. It felt like I waste space, I waste money, and I wanted to find some solution and to take like a responsibility as a designer for the mass production. And then I just thought what I can do with all these kind of textiles. So I searched for ways and methods to recycle, and I met this factory in Israel that produced cleaning wear and recycled building constructions. And on one visit of many visits, I saw this pile of old clothes, old knits, and I wanted to know what does it do with them. And I discovered that it just shred everything together and produced this kind of isolation material for roads. And then I thought it's such a shame that like a garment turns to be something like lower in terms of quality. So I wanted to create another cycle of life for these clothes. I decided to take every color groups of knits and shred them separately to fibers. And then I created these 15 shades of colors, so I could just create anything I want from them, like in terms of textures and color combinations. The next stage was to put it in felting machine and to create felt. And then I could make this really beautiful textiles, but I wanted also to show the story behind it and to tell the story. So I decided to combine knits together with the felt and to make this transformation between those two. So this transformation will actually illustrate the recycle process, how a knit turns to be felt. So you can see it in the clothes in my graduation collection. So the upper part of the clothes are made of knit and the bottom part is made of felt, and there's an integration between those two. It's a very important point in my career as a designer because I kept developing this project. I got some prizes when I graduated, 2 prizes that really pushed me forward. And now I have my own studio for making recycled clothes in Tel Aviv. This is my second collection. It's called City Growth Collection. I took inspiration from cities that expand over agriculture fields, and it's a phenomenon that happened in all the world. And there's an area of photographs of NASA that reveals the changes on the ground that actually just reveal how different it was 40 years ago. So I just took those pictures as an inspiration in terms of colors and textures for each garment. So there's the negative color and the positive color, and every color shows, one color shows the nature and one color shows the concrete and the buildings. And it's something that is really close to my heart because my father is a farmer, and nowadays he grows in like quarter of the field he had in the 90s. And like you said, art and fashion can just come together, and it's like the story I want to tell through the clothes.
Yeah, Eugenie, tell us a little bit about yourself and also about the project from the past where it all started for you.
I was born in Tajikistan, in former Soviet Union, and my parents moved to Germany when I was a kid, 11 years old, and then I went to Berlin to study fashion at the Art Academy Weissensee, where I met my Japanese colleague and partner, Mariko Takahashi. So we spent some years together working on projects, and then we decided to make a bigger big project, like final work. We started to collect clothes and give them, each donor receives an ID number, and donations of the clothes get an ID number. And then we started to register in our digital archive. So like every part or each piece gets a special ID. So for example, T-shirt, white, donated in Berlin 2010, produced in Romania, patterns, etc., or size, etc. It was so it became a big collection of clothes, and we put it into the digital archive. And of course, after this, we washed it and put it in a physical archive. So collected a lot from, in the beginning, from students and professors and like people from the school. And yeah, then we reassembled and produced a man-woman collection out of this. So it was more, the process was more about like taking every part and then, okay, this color is very strange, how to do this. So putting apart or putting together 1, 2, 3 different pieces, and this became a collection piece. And the new piece would get a QR code, which can be tracked and shown the family tree. So it shows what it was before. Yeah, so this it was the beginning, and then it was the first collection. We also get a lot of attention and prizes, and also like New York Times was writing about us, and we get some invitation for expo shows around the world. Let's say in Tokyo, New York, etc. And yeah, then we founded the brand Schmidt. And in the beginning, we just worked with used clothes, so with upcycling, and we called this first line Unicat, just like unique. And after a while, we had to go more commercial and put it more into commercial thinking, or reproduction is very, as Dana know, is the most fragile point, because of course you want to grow or how to do better. The second collection line was called Duplicates. It's a copy from the first. We take the same pattern and copy it with organic fabric and still add an old piece of an old cloth, so it gets this trackable system, and it's in this family tree.
It's interesting because both of you had some kind of similar starting point, right? We have to say that we know that the fashion industry is one of the most polluting industries on Earth today, and we do produce unbelievable amounts of clothes that we just don't need and throw away. So the starting point of just looking at all these textiles, all these mountains of clothes, and saying something is wrong, what can we do about it, is similar in both cases. And it's interesting to see how each one of you took it to another path or to another procedure.
I agree. Actually, yeah, I agree. I feel like it's a challenge for designers to show how recycled materials and products can be attractive, can be beautiful, can be reachable. Because the common perception is that recycled materials are ugly or cheap. And it's all about finding the potential of materials in the end and finding something good to do with them.
I think it's also a lot of it, like educating people, like just like circulation or let's say this upcycling is nothing like wrong or bad. It can be so beautiful, and the whole world is about circulation. Everything is like going in many times, like back and forward. So, and nobody like the fashion industry doesn't care about this, but right now, with Corona, there's more attention about that, awareness.
I would love to hear about how this whole COVID-19 influenced your work, and how do you leave this current new state of emergency?
So yeah, the coronavirus influenced a lot in my daily life in terms of fashion, because I used to have events going on, fashion weeks, shows, events of shopping, and now it's all stopped, and showrooms are not the same thing anymore. It's online, and now we need to think, we need to rethink on how we're going to show our clothes, how we're going to sell them. Also, on the one hand, I feel like this crisis just bring people to think more on sustainability, how to save the planet, how to listen to the nature, but on the other hand, it creates a financial crisis as well. So it's kind of a tension between those two, because I don't feel like there's a place to high-end clothes now, because we are on survival kind of era. So I kind of started this new project of painting on drawing on silk by hand, and it takes a while and it's very slow, and it feels really good because I didn't have time for it before, and now I feel like I have more time and I create something more small, less complicated. So it's kind of nice. I feel like it's a new way that opened that I wouldn't do without this crisis. And it's also ecological because usually textiles are dyed, and all the chemicals of dyeing goes to natural resources of water. And by painting by hand, I'm not polluting anything.
And Eugenie, I know you were, just before the COVID-19 crisis arrived, you were about to start a new step in your business, and then things changed. Tell us a little bit.
10 years ago, we started with a label, and after a while, both of us, Mariko and me, we got kids. And it was a big challenge to kids almost at the same time. So having a little team with assistants and interns and 2 babies was a bit horror. So after it was a big chaos. So we had to stop on a certain point. So Mariko stepped out, and she gave me the permission to work with the label, with patterns and everything, to keep all. So I was on my own. The last year I did like almost a whole year just doing a bigger business plan to grow, to get some loan or money or investment, and to build up a team, and just to boom. The papers were in the bank. It was Corona came up, and they called me to say, okay, we put it on ice. There's not the best time maybe for this. But after a while, I just started to do something with my hands. So just working on masks and producing masks, and the total opposite, going backwards to manufacturing. And then I decided to go for the best sellers from the past years. Like I had some t-shirts, blouses with plissé, and then started to reproduce them, and thinking into more, okay, what are my resources? I have a lot of these old garments, and actually I'm the upcycle designer. So there's no need to grow and think big. Maybe it's time to think small again. And now I decided to produce jackets, just only upcycled, and to sell them online.
So what about the next thing now? What are your plans for the future? Any projects that you can see in the near future? As you said, maybe we don't make plans for the long-term plans, but what do you see coming? What are you working on for the future? Maybe Dana, you can tell us.
I have a museum exhibition coming up this year in a museum in Israel. I'm gonna make an artwork from the recycled fabrics. I did it before for the Tel Aviv Museum of Art. I had a wall painting, but now it's gonna be a bit different. And for now, I just can't tell this until something is gonna just be finished and published. And in terms of fashion, I'm gonna make a capsule collection for the coming winter. It's gonna be much smaller than the previous one.
For you, Eugenie, so you're working on this new jackets collection, right?
Yeah, exactly. And exactly, I think I put all my energy into this relaunch of the rename, and it will also change a little bit the look, I think. Not much. It's still minimal and upcycled. So the same, but I want to focus on this and then publish.
I'm very happy with this series because we have this encounter between these German and Israeli creators. This is also this year we celebrate 55 years of diplomatic relations between Israel and Germany, and I always love collaboration between creators, especially internationally. So I was wondering, is there something on your mind of some kind of work you could do together, since there are all this similarity in your approaches? Is it something you can imagine? And if so, I don't know, what would it be?
It's very interesting actually to make a collaboration, because we start in the same point where we collect clothes of where we collect old clothes from recycle bins or donations. In Eugenie's case, you know exactly where the garment came from because it's recorded. And in my case, you never know who used to wear it, and you have this mix of all those people together because they have all these kinds of red, for instance, red knits together, shredded together. So it can be very interesting to put those fabrics together, to use my felt and to use your fabrics, and to show all those people together. One side of the garment is recorded and the other one is anonymous.
You could send me some pieces, or I don't know, fit stories from Israel, or from something which you can forward to Berlin, and I would record the story and put them into also new clothes, new jackets maybe.
It's really interesting. I think there's something to do there. So I hope that maybe you'll find a way to do it. But I think the two of you have these really amazing stories to tell through fashion. So it can be a very interesting combination between these two approaches. So that's my imagination already going wild. I would like to thank you too for this really interesting conversation. I'm so happy to hear about your amazing projects. I'm sure I'm going to keep on following your work and see how it evolves. So thank you so much for participating. And I wish you good luck, and I wish that you find a way to do something together, and that you find your new path in this new reality, and just create amazing things out of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.